This program contains some material that many parents would not find suitable for children under the age of 14. Viewer discretion is advised. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of The Collector Shot. Today I have for you guys another great guest, Mr. Greg Cook himself. Awesome guy. We talked about toy hunting, YouTube, collecting, 3D printing, which was a great conversation. So again, and this was a treat for me because it's the first time that me and Greg ever had the opportunity to speak to one another. You know, and again, this is one of the joys of doing YouTube and interviewing people. You get to reach out to people that not that you would normally not reach out to, but you reach out to them and you actually winding out, you actually have a lot more in common than what you thought. So awesome interview. Greg's a great guy. Let's go ahead and get right into the interview. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Collector Shot. Joining me is toy hunter, YouTuber, 3D printing enthusiast, Greg Cook. I'm excited because this is the first time me and you have actually spoken, so I'm stoked for this.
Me as well. I'm honored. Thank you so much for having me on. This is great.
Yeah, no, this is great, man. I mean, listen, dude, honestly, you know, everybody has their own little inner circles and little cliques and everything. And, you know, so we all, you know, we all know each other in some way, shape or form. But, you know, when I have people, you know, vouch, you know, that means something to me. So it's like, you know, I had a lot of people come forth like Mike and Kent and Big Dub, you know, all these guys came through and vouched for you. So I'm like, if they're vouching for you, I'm like, he's got to be a good guy because, you know, we're all in our own little worlds and things like that. So it's like, you know, I like to take people's words for it. And I mean, I've watched your videos. You seem like a very humble guy, you know, and you seem like you like to have a lot of fun. So it's good company. So
thank you.
I appreciate you coming on. So before we get started, normally what I like to do is I like to take a shot. Now, the past 2 times I've done this, somebody said I had a shot of Jägermeister, my first episode with Mike, and somebody said it was Coke. And then it was Coke in the glass. And then I had another one that I just did where it said Fireball whiskey clearly on the bottle. And I showed the bottle and somebody's like, oh, that's apple juice. So here we go. Captain Morgan right there, spiced rum.
I have grape water.
Listen, you know, drinking's not for everybody, and I'm not really much of a drinker either. I just do this as, you know, just like a loosening up type of thing, just so we have, you know, we have fun.
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you know, have you ever heard of a white Christmas margarita?
No, I have not.
Well, we haven't either. My wife enjoyed 2 of them the other night. And it's actually really good.
That sounds like it turned out to maybe be a good night for you then.
Yeah, it was good.
Well, thanks for coming on, buddy. I appreciate it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Whoa. Oh, that'll get you going.
That'll make your beard gray.
It already has. I mean, my kids do that to me. My kids do that to me already. So let's dive into it, man. First thing I want to chat about is your 3D printing.
Yes.
I just saw you currently working on the Death Watch Mandalorian rifle, which is really cool. And I see a lot of, there it is. Look at that. That thing is so sick. That thing is so sick.
Still got some more work to do on it, but yeah, there it is.
So now with you doing all the 3D. So first of all, what enticed you to get into the 3D printing aspect?
You know, the crazy thing about a lot of this was, you know, when the pandemic hit, you know, that really just tapped in to, I've always thought I was a pretty creative person, but it really just tapped into it because, you know, you can't really go anywhere. You can't really do anything. So what do? You find ways. I tapped into my inner child again to where when I grew up, you didn't need anything to do except a space. You found things to play with. You found things to create, you know, pillow forts and whatever, you know.
Sticks and rocks were our toys.
Right. I mean, I could take a stick and it became a sword.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm killing the weeds, which were aliens. I mean, you know. So a lot of that, I needed something to redirect mental thought.
Yeah.
You know. So it all actually started with EVA foam. I started making things like this out of foam.
That's so cool.
You know,
Yeah.
And it slowly, I went into, I taught myself how to do that. I taught myself how to do casting, resin casting. So I was doing little pieces. I was molding them and recreating pieces that I could use for dioramas. And I actually got into building dioramas with the pink foam. I taught myself how to do that.
Yeah.
And it's just progressed to where I love helmets. I love Star Wars. And I was just like, well, why don't I make my own helmet? This is one of mine.
That is sick. That is cool, man. Dude, the patina on that looks ridiculous.
And I've literally, you know, it's just something that I've made a conscious decision that before I'm unable to do it, I want to cosplay a con.
I was gonna say, is that what this is leading to? Where building a suit and being able to cosplay? Because I know eventually, once people start 3D printing and they start making things, the ultimate goal does wind up becoming that. Now, is there maybe like a hidden ulterior motive with this, where maybe like you start, you know, creating your own like little 3D printing business and you maybe like consider selling some of these props, or right now is it just more for fun?
Well, I've sold some of these 3D.
Yeah, the Boba Fett's on the phone. I've seen those in Brian's video and Mike's video.
When it comes to the armor and things like that, it's tricky. Not everybody has the same body type.
It's true. It's true.
I actually brought an example because I was wondering if this question would actually come up. So this is a chest plate for a Death Watch trooper.
Yeah.
That I've spent 2 days printing. And so I did a test fit today.
It looks a little small.
It's actually a little big.
Oh, okay.
Because right here, it actually hits into the shoulder. So this is 100. The default is 100%. This is 102%. The one I have printing now is 90%. So I've actually went down because as I did my research on not 3D armor, but medieval armor, I started looking into how that armor is done. And you have to have range of motion. Yeah. So I talked to a friend of mine that I work with. He's into a lot of Renaissance stuff, and I tapped his brain, and you know, I had him look at it today, and we put it up, and he's like, "Dude," he said, "you got to go smaller." He said, "What you see in the movies is not reality. It is, but it's not. If you took legitimate armor that we see in movies and made it out of metal or something rigid, yeah, you ain't gonna move."
No, it's true. No, it's true.
It's a delicate balance. I have more failures.
I was gonna say, like, what's your success to your to your catastrophic fail rate? Because a good buddy of ours, Humpty. I'm sure you've seen him in the videos. He just started doing some 3D printing stuff too, and one of the things he just did was I don't know if it was life size, but it was a pretty large Mauser from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah. So he just did one of those, which was actually kind of cool. But again, how many failures do you really go through before you have, like an success? And, like say your chest plate that you just showed, like what's the print time on something like that?
So this one, basically with this, instead of printing it in one piece like this, I actually slice it in a piece of software called Mesh Mixer.
Okay.
So it creates a left and a right side. So I'll take the left side and put it on my left printer, my right side, put it on my right printer, hit print. They're both printing.
Yeah, I saw you got two printers going now. Yeah, so it's like,
so it typically, this was 1 day, 19 hours and 34 minutes to do one side. So 2 days.
Yeah.
So this is 2 days.
And does that eat up a lot of the resin used for the printer, or?
This is all PLA, so this isn't resin printing. This is actually plastic.
Oh, it's plastic. Okay.
Yeah, but I do use resin and paint on it because it's another technique that I learned from like Vault Fox and Uncle Jesse, great YouTube channels for 3D printing. Galactic Armory is another one. They're using the liquid resin to put over the prints, hit it with UV lights, so that saves a lot of the sanding work.
Gotcha.
So
yeah,
it covers up the lines.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I what is it? George actually has a 3D printer, and he just he has a resin one though. So
Yeah.
he just did not too long ago like a I think it was like a third scale bust of Boba Fett.
Oh yeah,
that he did that came out pretty good, but it was to the point where he still had to do some sanding and
Yes.
and obviously the painting and
That's the
everything,
part,
everything like that.
That's the part that people, when they, and this is and I've told people this because I've had a lot of people DM me and they'll ask me, "Oh man, I'm gonna get a 3D printer, blah blah blah." The printing part is the easy.
Yeah.
Getting to this,
the finished product is the work. Yeah.
Because if you look, you don't see any print lines.
Nope.
I mean, this is literally days of prep work.
Oh, I'm gonna say there's probably hours of just sanding involved.
I mean, when I did my Wrecker helmet, which is my most favorite helmet that I've ever printed and finished, just the wet sanding process was probably about 6 hours total.
Wow.
I mean, you'd put a coat of paint on, and then you wet sand it with 800, 1,000, 1,500, and just to get it slick and smooth, just to throw paint on it and put chips in it.
Listen, I'm not, I'm a handy guy in some aspects, but like all the 3D printing and stuff, that's like not, it's like on a whole nother level. I mean, you ask me how to fix something, yeah, I can fix it, no problem. Yeah,
and I mean that's another part of it. Like in the picture when it shows the two printers, the printer on the left has actually been down for probably a month and a half now.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth with Creality, and they're really great. We have literally swapped out just about every part. They sent them to me, didn't charge me anything. It's still under warranty, blah, blah, blah. They sent me instructions, and we finally got it figured out. But it's like with any machine.
Yeah, you got to go through the motions.
Maintenance. It's having a plethora of spare nozzles and Bowden tubes and
so like after every time like you're done printing like a piece or a section or something, is there like there has to be downtime for like the printer to like recoup or something like that, or you can just go right into the next one?
You can typically go right into it. If you have like I just upgraded my wife. Man, love her to death. She just bought me this amazing workbench for my birthday. And that was a game changer because it's so sturdy and heavy. Because when a printer's running,
it's like shakes back and back
the
and
bed,
forth.
Everything's moving. So if you don't have it on a good solid structure, then that will cause layer shifts, and it'll slide over a little bit. The main prep work when I get down to the printer, clean the bed, make sure it's good, and I can usually go right into another print. I did that today. This finished this morning. I done a real quick glue up on it. Came home this afternoon, fired up the printers, resized everything, loaded it up, and they're down there printing now.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I enjoy this whole 3D printing thing, and it's great though because it's like people can kind of almost print their own collectibles now. If they want to. I mean, again, I don't know what the cost is for the for the material and everything, but it's like, it's kind of cool though that you can have that choice if you want to. But again, there's the back end of the work which goes into it where there's sanding and painting and the finishing aspect and stuff like that. I mean, listen, you ask me to paint anything, we're gonna have a problem. I need like paint by numbers in order to paint. That's just how creative I am.
That the same with me. It's like learning how to weather, learning how to take something like this and do multiple paint layers on it, then dirty it up. And that's the most disturbing part, is when you take something that has pristine, like my Death Watch helmet that I did from the white Black Series prototype Boba Fett helmet.
Okay.
I bought one of those and repainted it Death Watch colors. And when it's done, the paint is beautiful, it's shiny, it's clean, crisp lines. And then you do this to it. You dirty it up, you weather it, and you're just smearing paint on it, wiping it off. You're just like, because that's when you don't know if you're going to screw it up or not.
Dude, but it looks, I mean, from what I see here on my end, dude, I mean, that thing just looks awesome.
Yeah, this is a really prideful one for me, because like I said, this was my second helmet that I actually printed. Wrecker was the first, then this one. Actually done a Hydra Stomper helmet, which is cool. Really, really cool. That was the easiest one. It's solid green.
Yeah.
So that was an easy one to paint.
Yeah, it was just that army camo green. Very simple. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually the camouflage forest green you can get at Walmart. That's the paint.
Even better.
I'm a Radican guy.
So going back to cosplaying, so was this something that you had in mind when you started doing this, or just as of late, because you see like you have the capabilities of printing this, and maybe it's something that you've said, like you said, you've wanted a toy with doing? Is this where, obviously you said you're going to do as the Death Watch. So how intricate are you going to get with this? I mean, are you going to be like as seen on TV Death Watch, or is there going to be like little tweaks here and there?
That's a really good question. I've always admired cosplayers. In 2006, me and my brothers went to Dragon Con. That was the first time I'd ever got experience of a con, literally. And I went down there as me being a photographer. I wanted to photo and just document it. And I really got a huge appreciation for cosplayers. And time went on, life, whatever, everything hit a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Mindset changed. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not getting any younger. It's something I've always admired doing. And I found out really, really quick that you can, if you're an average male, and we're talking, 5'11", 6 foot, 165 to 185 pounds, you can go pretty much anywhere and get you some armor, little tweaks, you're good to go.
Yeah.
When you're 6'1", 245, it ain't happening that easy.
Yeah, the odds aren't quite in your favor.
So that's when I thought, you know what? Let me get a printer. Let me give this a shot. Let me see what I can teach myself, what I can learn. And I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4. I got like 4 or 5 pieces up here that are they're successful prints, but they're failures in sizing.
Okay.
Because that's the crazy part. It's both your arms are not the same size. Both your legs are not the same size. So there's some nuances and tweaks, and that's been a really fun challenge to learn. But it's also fueled my desire to do a cosplay one time, go to Atlanta Comic-Con, or that's probably where I'd love to do it at, the first one, and just go as a cosplayer and just experience it, because I have such mad respect for cosplay.
I do too, man. The work that they put, the work and the effort that goes into making their costumes, whether it's something simple, simple or something like extremely over the top, over intricate, it's crazy, because again, those people put their blood, their sweat, and their tears into it. And you've got to have a tremendous amount of patience to do something like that, where I'm the total opposite. I have no patience, and I'm like, shit, at this point, I'm just gonna freaking buy something, and I'll just have someone make it for me.
I squirrel so much. I literally have, oh man, I have probably 90% of a wrecker armor done, like
cool.
printed.
That's cool.
And I completely squirreled. I made a left turn because of a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm still going to finish the armor, but I didn't want to cosplay as it.
Okay.
Even though Wrecker actually would fit my body type better.
Yeah, because he's the bigger. Yeah, he's the bigger of the Bad Batch.
But what I found was in Wrecker's armor, there's some really hard right angles.
Okay.
And those right angles, I understand now why Wrecker is a cartoon now and not a live action actor, because those right angles, they're not body friendly with 3D printing, but they are with foam. They're friendly with. So as I started test fitting the chest and the abs and the back, I'm just like, holy, I mean, it's got a big, Wrecker's got the big.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When you put the helmet on, it goes down in that. So literally there is no.
Yeah, there's no head turn. You can't turn left or right. Yeah.
There's no movement. And I'm like, it's hard enough to wear a helmet in public, to see.
Yeah.
Well, if you start restricting your mobility and you're going through a con that's got, let's say we go back to the way cons were. You
got thousands of people. Yeah, you got thousands of people.
It's hard enough to walk through when you have all your senses.
Yeah, especially if you got people like stopping you, and then you got to like turn your whole body and be like, you can't even turn your head.
So I called an audible and I said, you know what? Mandalorian style costumes. They're more soft goods. The armor's a little bit flatter. It's a little bit more mobile.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? Let's just go that route, and we'll do that. We'll see what happens.
I actually, one of the pieces that I'm actually interested in waiting for you to start printing is the jetpack.
Yeah.
I think most people would agree with me, that are watching this right now. That would be like, okay, that would be something cool to see, because there's a lot of curves, there's a lot of lines. It's I'm sure it's probably the more intricate of the pieces to print.
It's going to be the jetpack. So the jetpack actually is only two pieces.
Okay.
So you have the back.
Yeah.
Piece, and then you actually have the jetpack, which it's hollow inside, so there's an opening there. So what I'll have to do is probably cut the jetpack up into probably 6 pieces.
Oof.
Get all those printed, then glue them up, and I actually taught myself how to do. It's called PLA welding. So you can weld these parts together. It's awesome.
Yeah, you kind of need like a, what do you need? Like a heat gun, or like a soldering, like a soldering gun. Like a soldering gun. You heat up the ends and you just kind of stick it together, and the plastic cools.
Yeah, you take your you actually take your soldering gun where the seam is, and you draw it and make a groove.
Yeah.
And then basically you take a piece. It's almost like TIG welding. You take a piece of the PLA.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you do the same type things, and it makes such a huge, incredibly strong bond.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. I like that.
But hopefully 2022.
Yeah, I mean, we what is it? Me and Brian were talking the other day. We're actually, I don't know if you're going to be down for this, but we're trying to do Toylanta. So,
yeah, it's again, I'm really, really selective, but
yeah,
I love Toylanta. Toylanta's great. I missed it this past year.
Yeah, we went for the first time, and that was actually kind of cool. I liked how they had, the multiple levels of everything, and then
they changed it. Which, if I'd have, sort of in retrospect, in 2019, I think their Toylanta, when they had it in the hotel.
Yeah.
And those corridors, and it was just jam packed. So yeah, after I saw the some videos from it and saw some pictures from it, I thought, you know what, it probably wasn't bad at all, because it just looked like everything was spread out really, really
Yeah,
well.
everything was spread out pretty good. It was a lot of fun. It was cool because, and that's like one of the other things, like I want to do, like I want to start venturing out and going to like other states rather than just staying in my, my general vicinity. I mean, but I got I got to go to some really cool places. Like I got to go to Plastic Empire. I got to go to Steel City Collectibles, which was which was a great place. And then we wound up going to Second Chance, which was great. So it's like we hit up so many places in that time span. And I mean, again, you go to Second Chance, dude. Honestly, that needs to be just a day, set aside a day for all, because the owner Chance and and his dad, they let us. The last time we went there, they just let us roam around the whole store, go in the back, and I mean, just dig through everything. And I mean, we didn't have enough time because we were on a crunch. But dude, you got to make a day out of that when you go there. I mean, it's such a cool place.
When me and Kent went to Atlanta Comic Con last year, which was just a ghost town.
Yeah.
Me and him went over to Second Chance, and there's so much in that store from there's anything.
Yeah, there's at least one piece in there for somebody, for somebody. I mean, I would never expect not one person to walk out of that store empty-handed.
No. Or saying I couldn't find something.
Exactly.
I mean, it's an amazing, super friendly, and there's so many people. It was so funny how people just come in and just talk about toys.
Yeah. And that's what I love. That's the environment I love, when you can walk in and there's people having a conversation, and you can just jump right into the conversation, and like you've been standing there like the whole time, which is great.
And they welcome you too.
Exactly.
Because it reminds me when we had Toys R Us up here. We had one in Chattanooga, about 30 something miles from where I live, and me and Matthias and Josh and a couple other folks, that was our ritual. We would meet there around 9 o'clock, and we would be there till 10:30, 11 o'clock, inside the store, outside the store, and it was just all of us talking about toys, trading. I mean, whatever. So having that ability to have camaraderie, is something that I really love about the toy community. And again, I think sometimes people overanalyze it. I think they do. I mean, I say this all the time. It's a flipping toy.
Yeah, I know.
And I've said it to myself. If this ever makes me angry, I'm done.
Oh, well, then then you should not go back and watch some of my earlier Funko Pop hunting videos. You stay away from those, good sir.
But to me, I mean, here's the thing. I understand really wanting something. I get it. I totally get it. And I understand, it sucks to pay crazy prices.
It does.
But at the end of the day, how bad do you want it? That at the end of the day, how bad? There's tons of stuff that I want. I ain't gonna pay what they want for it.
Oh, hell no.
So I just move on. So
well, and that can actually segue into the next part of the conversation. So I don't know how you started out collecting, but I think everybody for the most part started out with Pops, because that was like the gateway. That was basically like the gateway into collecting. So, I mean, I started collecting Pops, and then I started moving into the figures, and I stopped doing Pops. I sold off all my Pops, and everybody has their own reasons for doing it. And my reason was, I got tired of having to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to be at the store at 6, just so I can be there, just so I can, just so at least there was a slight chance I can get what I want, I can get what I want. And I got tired of it. I got tired of dealing with, with the stores. Funko as a company kind of let me down a few times,
Yeah.
and I just, I kind of hit the wall, and it's like, listen, I'm not going to give these people any more of my time or my money, and and that's it. But then I segue into the figures, then from the figures to the hot toys, and now into statues, and
Yeah.
and it just when does it end? When does it end? So I've been doing YouTube for going on almost about 5 years now. So how long have you been doing it?
I think I'm going on my third. I think.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I don't really keep up with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, when did you start? I think about 3 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I don't keep an accurate count, but I know I've been on YouTube for about, for about 5 years.
I've been on, I think, since I want to say 2018. So, 3 years. So.
Yeah, I've been doing it since I think 2017. I've been doing it. So I mean, and it's been fun. It's been great. It's led me to meet extraordinary people, including yourself. This is the great thing about doing this type of stuff. You connect with people from all walks of life, which is great. With doing the YouTube and stuff like that, I see you're on the kind of like almost on the schedule where you're kind of like dropping like a video like almost every day, whether it's like a hunt video or like a review or something that you made. I actually watched the one that you did with the base that you just did for the Hydra Stomper, where it made it look like, dude, that thing is so freaking cool, man. I love that thing. And it's cool that you do that type of stuff. There's variety on the channel. You're just not like a one trick pony, which is something I'm trying to get away from. I'm trying to show people that I'm a little bit more than just toy hunts and fart jokes, so it's like but with the toy hunting stuff, what's your schedule like? I mean, do you like pre-record like a whole bunch of videos and then just, you take like one day out, you record like a whole bunch of stuff, and then you say, hey, I'm going to break this up into a couple of videos? Or is you go out, you film, and then you just record, and then you upload it,
I do try to do a schedule. So my Monday morning video is typically my Saturday toy hunt.
Okay.
My midweek toy hunt is typically my Sunday toy hunt.
Okay.
And then I like to try to do an after work hunt. Those are usually, I try to like do those on Fridays. Those are actually done. Usually I'll do the hunt on Thursday, upload it and everything. The Lego builds, the like the Hydra Stomper thing, those I plan out and do them, try to do them on Sundays.
Okay.
So yeah, I try to keep that schedule of 5 videos a week, 1 live stream a week. I was doing 2 live streams on Tuesday nights. I'm probably going to bring that back in 2022. I sort of took a break from that just because work schedules and stuff changed, and it just made it a little bit harder to do. But yeah, it's you have to plan it. I keep a book in my backpack, and I'm constantly writing ideals, things that I'd like to build, things that I'd like to try to, how to, like the Hydra Stomper thing. Yeah. I watched Cosplay Chris. Awesome guy, does some really good, just
I've seen some of his stuff before. Yeah, he does some cool stuff.
That's where I got the idea for the Hydra Stomper. And I thought, hey, let me see if I can make this thing look as cool as he is. Challenge myself.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the first time I'd ever done it, and I watched his video like 20 times and got the stuff, and I thought, all right, let's go.
So one of the things I'm always curious about is what other people use for their filming equipment. So when you're out on the hunt, are you just using your phone, or do you use like an actual camera?
I used to actually use my Canon M50.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I use my iPhone, 4K, 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always in my pocket. And I tell people when they ask me about, hey, I want to buy a camera to do toy photography, and there's a statement that was told to me, decades ago, the best camera you have is the one you have on you. Wow. So it doesn't matter if it's a $5,000 DSLR or your phone. What do you have? So I've always got my my iPhone in my pocket.
Yeah.
It does great video, and it's always there. So if I have just a hair to, I do keep my M50. It goes with me every day in the car because a lot of days I'll take off for lunch and I'll do street photography and stuff like that. And so I always have that one as well. But, there for a long time, I was using the M50 on a Gorilla Pod and
okay.
Rode mic, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I'm always curious about what everybody else does, and that actually seems to be like the reoccurring theme. Like a lot of people I've spoken to, everybody seems to use their phones. I did start out using my phone, but then I moved away from it because I used to get the shakes a lot, and people would always complain, be like, "Oh, your hands are shaking too much." And then I actually stumbled across a good buddy of mine recommended to me. I use the DJI Osmo Pocket.
Yeah.
So that's what I use. That's my vlogging camera when I go out and I do the hunts and all that stuff. And I got to tell you something, man. That camera has probably been the best money I've ever spent. And it's not uber expensive. It's a $350 camera, and it shoots in 4K 60 frames, and it serves its purpose, and it's great.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's what do you have? What will work for you? In the situation you're in. Now, I'm doing something here that I think you will appreciate. There's always neat little things that are.
Oh, I'm always down for learning new tricks and tips, especially since when it comes to like the equipment side of stuff, I'm not very okay. So the best way to sum this up, I'm the kind of guy that likes to buy something and just point and click. I don't want to have to dive into the settings. I've got Mike and George, messing with me all the time because right now the camera that I'm using for this, I'm using a Sony ZV-1, which I went out and I bought, and I just tried the last hunt video I did. I shot using this. Now, for me, it's awkward because I'm holding the camera with my hand and I don't feel comfortable because I've always been using the DJI with the with the handheld, like this. So I actually went out and bought an attachment for it that has the handle on it, and I'm gonna give it a shot, and I'm gonna see what happens. But like Mike's like, oh, you gotta watch this video to adjust these settings, and then I go ahead and adjust these settings, and then he's like, no, you need to put it in this setting, and I'm like, all right, this is already way more complicated than I wanted it to be.
That I completely understand that, and I think that's why, because I've been a photographer since the 90s. I mean, when I started doing photography, it was film cameras. When my daughter first got into band, I made a choice that I did not want to be an atypical band dad with a huge video camera. I wanted to take photos of her because I thought the photo would represent her better, And so I went out, dropped about $3,000 on just every kind of lens and I actually still have my original camera from back then. And I spent, her entire time in high school, through her time in college, taking photos of her. Then I've done weddings and engagements and events and corporate headshots and landscaping. So, I mean, I've been doing photography forever. So when you talk about settings, I get it. Totally get it. Your average person will never beat this for simplicity.
Yeah.
You just to be honest with you, this thing actually takes better photos than a lot of 4-digit cameras.
Of course. Yeah, they do those side-by-side comparisons. Absolutely,
just,
just auto corrects itself.
But what I tell people is the gear is not what makes you a camera, photographer or anything like that. It's you. Learn composition, learn how to look at something and create something out of it before you ever even worry about a setting, because if all your settings are right, but you don't know how to compose it, it's still it's an But now what's funny is, like, I have lots of camera gear because I am a photographer first, and we all go to cons.
Yeah.
You know, we've all went through cons with our tripods and blah blah blah. And then you have this neat little thing here.
Yeah, which you were putting that on. Yeah.
So here's the cool thing. It's inside of my shirt, right?
Yeah.
I'm Iron Man.
Oh, that is so sick. Yeah, with the GoPro.
Hands free.
So I kind of have something comparable to that for the pocket. When I'm at the cons and I have a backpack on, there's a clip that actually clips to the shoulder of the backpack, and the pocket sits right in there, and I could walk around hands free. But my problem is I'm always worried about somebody bumping in. You know how it is, and when you're in large crowds, people bump into you, and But dude, that thing is freaking cool for that GoPro, man. That thing is sick.
GoPro is another good camera to do videos with.
Well, that's what Mike started using when Mike first started out. That's what he was doing, and now he's using the Sony. Now he's using the Sony. So,
I mean, it's compact. It's got a screen. You can, do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
You can't get the angle wrong because just look square. You're there. It's you got to experiment. You got to experiment to find what works for you.
No, that's why I was kind of like excited to talk to you, because that's like great advice. And I'm always looking for advice when it comes to, light, especially lighting and camera and equipment and stuff like that. I'm always looking for advice. So I'm glad now that we're talking, because like now I've got someone I could reach out to other than Mike and George about that. And I know, and you being a photographer, that's even better, because I know, I'm sure if I'm trying to explain something to you that, maybe I don't think I'm saying it the right way, you might be able to pick up on it and be like, okay, I get what he's saying.
100%. Because it's like, I used to set up my M50 and I'd have all this stuff up here and got the computer over here. And I'll be honest with you, this is just a Logitech webcam that I've got now. And it's I didn't want to like, I know with my particular videos, there are some amazing YouTubers out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Not just toy hunters.
Just in general. Like, what is it? Like one of the guys Mike turned me on to, Peter McKinnon.
Oh yeah, Peter McKinnon is
he does some some awesome stuff. I've watched what's his Casey Neistat. I've watched him for quite some time.
Casey Neistat was my first religiously watched YouTuber. And I watched his, I think it was like 18-month series where he filmed every day his life, And I looked forward to seeing that, 30 or 45-minute video of him skateboarding through New York or whatever. And his style was just great because it was so nonchalant. It's like, he's talking to us like me and you are talking.
Yeah, like we're old buddies. Yeah.
What's funny is one of my first toy hunting YouTubers was Cincy.
Yeah, Cincy. Yeah.
Cincy. Then Josh Pence went down. They done a collab, and next thing I know, I'm watching Josh, and I was really into Josh because he was just getting into it. Since he'd been doing it for a while. Then here's Josh, a relatively new guy, and he's on YouTube, and I'm watching him, make the typical mistakes that we all have made, go back and watch your first videos. You're like, oh,
listen,
thinking, why was I whispering?
I'm still going through the motions. Like, one of the things, and I mentioned it in my last video. One of the things that I do a lot of is that I say, I say a lot, and it's to the point now where it just makes me nuts. And when I'm trying to do, see, there it is again. Like, see, when I'm trying to do like a review, like a hot toy review or a figure review, I catch myself saying that a lot. So what I've been trying to do is not like pre-write stuff, but have some notes to kind of prevent that from from coming out. So I'm trying to get better at it, but it's one of those things that just still is stuck with me to this day since I started, and just drives me up a wall.
I feel you. Because here's one of the things, and again, every YouTuber is different, and that's the beauty of YouTube, is we're all not the same, even though we may be doing, 100 YouTubers may do a toy hunt video. All 100 of them are different. I mean,
yeah, everybody's personality is totally different. Yeah.
At one point I was thinking like you were, because I am not the most articulated person. I don't claim to be. I'm a Southern boy from Tennessee, there I am, and one of the things that I took a long, hard look one day, and I was just telling myself, having these little conversations in my brain, that I'm me because of these things, and if I try to change me just for this,
yeah,
then when I meet you, I'm gonna be something totally different.
Exactly.
So that's I just finally just said, you know what? If people want to watch my channel,
they're gonna
I want them to watch my channel,
Yeah.
because I'm a 58-year-old toy hunter, and I'm not a completionist. I don't have to have. I literally have every toy line represented, I think, in my collection. I mean, I still got Funko Pops. I have people tell me all the time, they'll be like, I can't believe you're still collecting Funko Pops. I'm like, they photograph great. I just posted one of my granddaughter gave me a scarecrow for Christmas.
Oh, that's cool.
I posted a picture on the Instagram of it that I took, and I appreciate what it took to make it.
Yeah.
That's my thing. When I sit there and look at this stormtrooper monster truck, it's people would be like, oh man, I don't collect those are junk.
Yeah, people don't realize the engineering and everything that went into it,
the weathering and stuff.
Yeah. It's cool.
And you take this and you put it out on a dirt mound somewhere, and you take a photo of it, and it just became something cool.
Well, and that's the thing. Like toy photography is actually becoming a pretty big thing right now. I see a bunch of people doing it, and it's something that I kind of wanted to kind of try my hands in. But again, with me, it's got to be baby steps. Because I'm in an awkward phase right now in my collecting stage.
All toy collectors and awkward phases?
Because the whole thing is that my passion for wrestling has been reignited, and I grew up watching wrestling. I grew up, in the 80s and the 90s, the Attitude Era, even in the 2000s. I stopped watching it for a little bit in the early 2000s, because it kind of got stale once they left the Attitude Era. And then, then I kind of jumped back into it. And, now I'm in it like full force, and I'm back buying wrestling figures again. I'm buying the original Hasbros that I had when I was a kid. And it's like, the feeling of that is just, brought me back. So it's like, okay, so I'm like, these statues and these Hot Toys, okay, some of them got to go. I got to make room for wrestling figures, so it's like I find myself, and that's the cool thing too. Like, that's one of the things I want to do with like the figure photography is like a wrestling. Like, I want to get a ring. I want to get the background that has the crowd.
String
set. And get a. I have an extreme set, sewer diorama for the NECA Turtles. I want to get, and I want to get like an entrance ramp, and do like the photography, like that. Like, it would just be awesome. But again, with me, it's baby steps. I got to work my way into it. So
the one thing that I've not, number one, I have two wrestling figures. I have Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because I like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Who doesn't love Stone Cold Steve Austin?
And I got Rowdy Ronda Piper.
Oh, Rowdy Piper, yeah.
And because I love UFC.
Great. Ronda Rousey was great.
But one of the things, I've seen a lot of just phenomenal wrestling photos that people have taken with the Extreme Sets background. They'll get the Raw rings and repaint them and customize them. But the one thing no one has made that I have found yet, now you being more into the wrestling, you may have seen it, I have not, is you remember how when railroad train collectors would make these big, massive train set dioramas.
Yeah, they would make like the city,
Yeah.
like the cities, and have the train go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the train go around it. Yeah.
If I was going to do anything wrestling, that is the way my brain is thinking.
Yeah, you want to have like a stadium. You want to like have like a stadium, have the
LED
ring inside
lights.
the stadium. Oh yeah, man, that would be awesome.
It would be, and I would want it to where I could actually take the 6-inch figures and put them around the ring, like make take
like an audience. Make like an audience. Like
that
you can
would
even
be
take
cool.
You can even take like, what is it, just to make it, give it like you said, like some composition and some, difference of size and stuff like that. You have the 6-inch figures, and then you can take like some of the 3 3/4 figures and just place them around the place them around the audience. Dude, that would be awesome, man.
It would, see, that to me would be like the ultimate wrestling diorama piece. And we've seen amazing diorama pieces for Marvel and DC and Star Wars. I've never seen anyone do something epic for wrestling.
Yeah.
And that to me would be the most awesome thing, is actually have a legit ring, have the soft goods, have the drapes.
Oh, everything. Yeah, man.
Have some Bluetooth speaker in it so you can fire up the intro music for those wrestlers when they come down. Man. Smoke, the whole 9 yards. I just think that would be an amazing, centerpiece for a wrestling collection.
Well, you're giving me some ideas. I might have to start diving into this and see how far down the rabbit hole do I want to go.
Here's the thing, the crazy part about it is, like when you're building dioramas, a lot of it's actually pretty cheap. I mean,
the foam, the cost for the foam is inexpensive. Yeah.
And the wrestling community is amazing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm like you. I grew up local wrestling here, TNT,
WCW, all that stuff.
Horseman, that was my thing. Road Warriors were my guys. That's the ones that I always loved watching wrestling, was Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal.
Yep. Legion of Doom. Yeah.
I actually had a set of shoulder pads that I made with spikes on them.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, Sting back in the day, Lex Luger. I mean, I'm here at Chattanooga. They used to have the wrestling would come, and we always got. I actually have still to this day. I have a towel from Big Van Vader.
Oh my God!
With his blood on it.
Oh my God!
I was literally ringside in a corner. His head was split open. He grabbed the towel and he just threw it on the ground. I reached under and grabbed it.
You're like, yes, please.
And I still have it. It's still in a Ziploc bag.
That's
I have
cool.
his DNA.
So if any replication ever takes place later on down the future, there you go. You've got the towel to bring back Vader.
But that was to me, that was the fun part of wrestling.
Yeah, because it's storytelling.
I'm not taking anything away from what is going on now. Like right now, I think AEW is trying to get back to the old school way, where it's not less.
Yeah, it's less storytelling, just more. Yeah, it's less storytelling, just more wrestling, which is great, because we haven't had that. I mean, honestly, if we're gonna dive into this, there has to be just a little bit of storytelling. Yes. Just to make the match, just for the matches to make sense. I mean, just throwing people against each other doesn't really do anything in today's day and age.
I can remember back when Sting first went all black, white face paint.
Yeah.
The thing was, I mean, what was it for like a year or more? Was him just showing up in the rafters?
Yeah, he never wrestled. He was just hanging out in the rafters. Yeah,
and the crowd would go, and that's what you look for. Or we're going, and then you'd see him just in a faint figure, and you'd see the wrestlers in the ring, the fear in their eyes, blah blah blah. But it was an untold story.
Yeah, it's long-term storytelling. That's what that was.
I mean, come on. Now it's like 20 seconds and in and out. And
yeah. You got a month. You got a week. You got like a month to make a storyline before the pay-per-view, before the next pay-per-view happens. I mean,
pallbearer, gravedigger, bringing the coffin out. Come on. I mean, come on. I mean, there was things that just Jake the Snake. I mean, come on. I mean, those are the things that, from what little I've watched of AEW, that's the feel that I'm getting, is they're trying to bring
that old school style back. Yeah.
Which
is cool because it's making everybody happy, and I mean, I'm enjoying it. I mean, shit, I'm even to the point where I spent money to go at the end of March to Orlando, and they're doing a fan fest in Orlando. So I have literally almost every single AEW figure that's been put out so far.
Nice.
Oh, dude, it's the only I'm missing a few chases, and I'm having a hard time trying to bring myself to spend that money, because some of them are like, $500-600, and collecting hot toys and statues at $500-600, I can get at least 2 hot toys or a possible statue. So
I mean, I tell people, like, I don't have, like, literally I only have like 2 statues. I've got my Batman Who Laughs back here, and I've got the Stan Lee statue from SHOT Show that they just released this year.
Oh, the Iron Studios one?
Yeah, the one where he's like, smashing the book.
Yeah.
I love statues are great. They some of the most detailed of anything.
Absolutely.
Of course, what do you shouldn't expect less. It's a statue. Statues need to be displayed. And I'm not a display guy. I mean, people ask me all the time. They're like, man, show us a room collection, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, if you watch my videos, you see those blue totes behind me? That's where my stuff at. This is literally Funko Pop. They store great. They're square boxes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm so glad you said that, because I'm so glad, because I'm not the only one who gets that. People have been on me for the past 4 years to put out a room tour.
And you did.
I just did. I did it as a Christmas, as like a Christmas gift, joke for the channel to drop it. But it's like, I finally did. And you know what? I'm always skeptical about that kind of stuff, because it's like, with all the stuff, especially us being toy hunters. Okay. Yeah. Because people don't realize that, we're limited in our space. We don't have these big elaborate rooms that are just dedicated for this stuff. I'm in my bedroom. I'm in my I'm in my sanctuary. I'm
down in the basement now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm literally like this room up here, and then down in the basement's where I do most of my filming and everything now.
So like all my expensive stuff is the stuff that I have on display. Like all my Marvel Legends and all my Black Series and all my wrestling figures, they're in totes in my storage unit. And I was honestly, I was totally shocked, because I got a lot of good feedback on the room tour, which was which makes me feel good, because it was like, okay, nobody felt disappointed for making them wait this long. But I got 1 or 2 people, they're like, oh, where are all your figures? Why aren't these on display? And it's like, like, listen, you saw and I respond back, you saw the room. I don't have room for this stuff. It's got to sit in storage and totes until I get a bigger space.
Here's the thing, because me and Ken are really good buddies, and me and Jetta Patrol were good buddies.
Yeah.
I've been to both their houses. Kent's been to my house. Pound for pound, I have, when I first went to Kent's house, because here's the thing: 6 scale figures, statues, they take up space.
They do. They eat up real estate.
But you don't need to have a bunch of them in a small space. In other words, if you have a DTOF, you maybe 2 at the most, and a DTOF shelf, maybe 3, you're pushing it. But typically, it's like, here's my Vader, here's my Thanos, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then you'll create a theme within that DTOF. And what Ken Poole has done with Legends, when I first went to his house and I saw these thousands of freaking Legend figures, complete waves, meticulously set up in these massive display cabinets and stuff. I was awestruck, because I'm like, wow,
Yeah, he took the time. He curated it basically.
Yeah.
You know, and even seeing when I was doing the video with him and
Yeah.
looking at his backdrop, I mean, it's very well thought out. It's very well organized.
It
You know,
is.
I mean,
And that's great.
unfortunately now he's got to figure out how to make space for all those Sentinels he just got.
Oh my
But
God, yes. You know, but then you look at, Big Dub, he did a whole redo,
yeah,
of his space.
I've been to. So I went to his space. I went to his house after the fire sale. So after he redid everything and rearranged everything, so I didn't get to see it at its height.
Yeah.
Mike went in there and Mike did a video, and Josh went in there and Josh did a video. So it's like looking at it from what it was to what it is now. I mean, it's like, it's night and day. I mean, it's like a whole nother collection.
Yeah, and see, that's another thing that I appreciate is people's displays. I know, like Ryan's, in the process of redoing his. I mean, I think he's on his second or third, generation of his room. Kent has done a couple of different, layouts here and there. And when I see the room tours, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This is awesome. Me, on the other hand, since I photograph a lot of stuff, it doesn't make sense for, like, if I had my room set up like, say, Kent has his set up, or to where you've got all these 6-inch figures, which, as we all know, a lot of 6-inch figures just don't like to stand up.
No, you got to get hopefully they stand up, or you got to get stands for them.
A good breeze comes through, you'll lose 20 of them. Troopers are the same way.
Yeah.
So I'll get a wild hair and I'll be like, hey, I want to go photograph this figure. Well, okay, Star Wars Troopers, it's in that bin. Boom, boom, grab it, boom. If I had it all displayed, I'd probably knock down half of them to get the one figure. And then I'm spending another 2 hours getting it all back together. So when I started this, I thought to myself, I said, look, number one, I would need a massive amount of shelf space, cabinets, and everything.
No question.
To display. I would have to go through all of the turmoil of, and I might get a figure. It might be 2 months from now. And hey, this is what I want to do with it. So it just made more sense for me just to do this. Put them in plastic bags.
Yeah, take them. So again, that actually brings me to another question.
Okay.
Are you an inbox guy or an out of box guy?
Both.
Okay.
Both. There are certain figures, like all the Bad Batch figures, all the new Black Series, all the new boxes that have the angles.
Yeah, the art on them. You want to keep them in the box because you want to line up for that picture.
I've took figures out, but I've kept the boxes because the boxes on their own with those sides.
They're like a diorama. Great. Yeah, they're like a small little diorama.
But yeah, I'm both. I have a mixture. I got, there's that one, there's that one. My custom trooper with the skull.
Nice.
My red skull that I did a dye job on because I hated that weird green that he had.
Oh yeah, that was too green. That was too green.
I mean, I got Legos here. I mean, Hot Wheels. Yeah, I got Groot. He works for me. He's a photographer. Greg Cook Photography right there.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think I'm the only one that's got a baby Groot with tennis shoes with Converses.
That's cool.
So yeah, baby Groot hanging out, chilling.
That's awesome.
I've got my my wrecker dude. He's the 2022 photographer. He just came on board. He's going to be basically a stormtrooper photographer. So his identity's unknown. So
cool.
Yeah, he's chilling in his Adirondack chair.
That's cool. That's cool. And did you 3D printed that chair? I'm assuming, right?
That's actually a wood chair I got at Hobby Lobby. It's a cell phone holder.
Oh no shit! That's awesome.
It's Hobby Lobby's got the greatest place in the world.
Yeah. That's a cool place. So we're gonna start winding it down right now. One of the things I like to do when I end this episode now, what are 3 collectibles in your current collection that you would never ever part with?
I have more than 3, and so
okay. Well, say your top. You say your top 3.
well, see, that's the thing. Here's the thing. So every single thing that anyone has ever sent me will never leave my collection.
And I'm same way. Totally the same way.
I mean, as far as things that I have purchased, I actually have a figure of me that I actually had done at the Mini Me factory in Alpharetta, Georgia.
Okay.
It's actually a 12-inch model of me.
Okay. I think I've seen that. I've seen that before. Yeah.
With a camera. That would definitely stay in the collection, but again, that's just a piece there. My first chase, Funtime Freddy, that one would stay because I made a statement years ago that if I ever found a chase in the wild, that's when I'd start collecting Funko Pops. And since that created the 1,000+ Funko Pops that I've got, yeah. I've got an autograph from a couple of actors; those would stay.
That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing with stuff. I mean, the only stuff that truly matters to me the most is the stuff that people have sent me.
Yeah, I could see behind you the what is it, the Mandalorians? I believe Mr. Jim Valente. That's a Jim Valente drawing, isn't it?
Yes, that one, and I actually just got this one from Rob Morgan, right there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, this piece, Jim, man, these are just wonderful pieces, and you know, I don't know, it's hard for me. All the letters and cards and stuff. I mean, I keep those all, and it's humbling.
It is. You know? It is because it's because you know what, it makes you feel not only like a sense of accomplishment, but it also makes you feel that you resonate with people. You're out there, and the things that you do brings joy to people, and they want to reciprocate on that joy. I mean, one of the first messages I ever got was this gentleman had messaged me saying that how him and his grandmother used to love to watch my hunt videos and stuff like that. And then, his grandmother passed, unfortunately his grandmother passed away, but he continued to watch the hunt videos because he knew that, it made him feel that connection to his grandmother. And when that messaged me, like, I'm not an emotional guy.
Yeah,
I really don't get that emotional, but it's something like that actually hit me, and I mean it was touching, and it was a sad situation, but it made me feel good that I could bring that type of joy to people. So
there's so many things that because anybody can message me. I love getting messages.
It's good to know that I'm not the only one, because dude, my phone just goes off like all hours of the night.
I got to do this. This I've teared up a lot over the past several years. Some people have sent me some pretty powerful messages and notes and letters and stuff. Come on. I got a buddy over, he's across the pond. He's over in the UK, Darren. He does coffee time on Instagram, the Poptimus UK. His, I don't even know. Let's see here. His son.
Oh, I saw that. Sung happy birthday to you.
I mean, come on. I flipping teared up like a blubbering baby when I got that. I'm just
that's cool, man. That stuff like that is just awesome.
And see, and I know we're wrapping things up, but here's the thing. I know people, we all have to just remember these are toys.
Yeah.
And they should bring us to a place to where things were better. Things were fun. You know, 8 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy. It don't matter. When I got into toys, like hardcore toys, is when I went through the last 8 months of my mother's life. You know, and when she passed, toys was the thing that I really gravitated to for all the good times when I was a kid. And you can ask my wife, she supported me 120%. Man, I dove into this thing hard because it was therapy. So, you know, when people try to be negative and people get upset and this and that, you know, I challenge them, you know, it should make you happy, whether you find it or not. I mean, it's a toy.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if you're a Marvel, a DC, a wrestler, a Hot Toy, a Funko Pop. It does not matter. They all have the same thing in common. They're toys. You know, and they should put a smile on your face.
They should. They should.
You know?
That's not that you listen, dude. Honestly, I feel that the collecting world and the YouTube world could take note from what you just said, because you know, at some point, people lose sight of collecting, and especially if you're a YouTuber, it turns in people lose sight, and it turns into almost like a competition where you know, and it should never be a competition. This is a hobby. People get into this for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah.
You know, this to me, and I'm sure for you and a few other people, it's a hobby. This is an outlet. This is a way for us to escape our lives, to escape our 9 to 5, just to have some fun, kick back and relax. And it shouldn't always be a competition of who's better than you, or who keeps putting out more content than the other, than the other person. It's for fun. It's for fun. And I agree with you. People need to get past that.
They do. And you know, here's the thing, because I mean, this sounds wrong, but it's not. I don't care if I drop a video and I dropped one today. It maybe might have 300 views right now. Maybe. Let me look here.
I know exactly where you're going with this, and I'm in the same boat. I did an unboxing today of the pro wrestling crate, and I don't even think it's got 600 views on it.
But you know, here's the thing. This video, it has 495 people have watched it. And those 495 people are just as important to me as if it got 100,000 views. In some ways, more important.
Exactly.
Because none of us, let's just be honest here, none of us in the toy community are going to be millionaires. Let's be honest now. You can have the nicest studio. You can have everything in order. You can be stupid rich. And you're not going to be as good as some, 5-year-old kid or 20-year-old or whatever that becomes a social media star.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. We're into this. I make content because I love making the content. I guess what? I'm still doing it, even if I ain't videoing it.
Yeah.
I'm still going. And I enjoy finding Turbo Man now. Turbo Man. I mean, that's like the thing now, But that's the piece of advice, if you're going to get into YouTube, number one, you have to love it. You have to love what you're doing.
You also have to be thick-skinned too. Just saying.
Oh, thick-skinned.
That's one of the key components in my thing. You've got to be thick-skinned.
To all the people out there that really just love to do whatever they do, I serve my country. I've been all over this world, and I can tell you, your comment is not going to get me upset, because I've been in places to where, guess what? They'll get you upset.
Yeah.
And you ain't going to do it. So I'm just saying, it doesn't faze me. I mean, I think it's funny, because your bad comment just made me a few pennies.
Yeah, my favorite, I don't know about you, but my favorite. We're gonna start winding this down because we can go on this subject forever. One of my favorite comments that people always leave is like, "Oh, look, another grown ass man hunting for hunting for toys." It's like it's basically like volleyball. You're serving it up to me, and I'm just gonna spike you right down. The generic response, and you know where I'm going with this.
Oh yeah,
you're a grown ass man watching somebody hunt toys. What does that say about you?
Okay, so here's the thing I'm going to tell on response to that. Because like you said, we could do another hour just on this. Okay, if you want to see childish grown-ass men, go play golf, go play softball, go play basketball, go play anything where you have grown men that are trying to hang on to their faded glory when they were 16 years old. I coached my daughter's 9-year-old softball team, and literally our team lost every game.
Yeah.
Every game. They were terrible. But I loved them little girls. Why? Because they had fun.
Exactly.
And they got pizza every game. They was no hollering. I kicked the parents out because the dads were just like,
out. Yeah. I've been through that already with my kids coaching sports. So yeah, I know exactly what you're getting at with that.
Collectors are more adult than a lot of those adults. Just like
that is great. I never even looked at it from that perspective, dude. That is such a great perspective on that. Greg, I can't thank you enough for coming on, man. This has been a lot of fun. We'll have to do it again soon. Sir. And I hope eventually at some point this upcoming year we get the opportunity to actually hang out in person, which I think would be a blast. I'm
planning another trip down to Second Chance Toys, probably within the next few weeks. I'll shoot you a message. How far is it from you?
I'm in Florida.
Oh, that's right.
I'm in Florida. That's like an 8-hour drive for me, good sir.
Well, I'm going to Florida in June. I'm actually going to Gulf Shores in June.
Okay, well let me know, and we'll try. I'll try to see how far it is, and maybe we'll try to link up. I think we might wind up at a con in Atlanta before that.
You know what? I'm good. We'll go Second Chance Toys then.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, we could spend all day at Second Chance and just have fun.
We'll just make a weekend of it. How about that?
Sold. So guys, I will leave the link in the description below for Greg's channel and also his Instagram. Make sure you go check him out. Go show him some love and support. Great guy. This is probably one of the more funner interviews that I've done yet, man. You're such a cool, down-to-earth guy, and and it's great that there's very similarities there with the way, with our thought process and everything, which is great because, I know everybody's different. And again, everybody comes from all walks of life, but this has been a lot of fun. Guys, as always, comment down below. Let me know who you want to get lined up on the show, and maybe I'll give them their shot on the collector shot. So if you guys like what you saw, please be sure to give a thumbs up. If you're new, please be sure to subscribe. As always, be sure to hit that bell so you get notified every time another episode of the collector shot gets uploaded for your viewing pleasure. As always, you can check out all the excellent content we always offer right here at MCE. And until next time, guys, stick around and maybe I just might give you your shot. So take it easy, guys.